Hello everyone, this is Eagle Owl. This video is called Your Body Composition, Muscle, Fat, and Other. The majority of people, whenever they want to see how well they're doing, how fit they are, how overweight they are or whatnot, the first thing they want to do is step on a scale. And that should not be your primary go-to method to see what kind of shape you're in or how overweight you are. That can be very misleading. I'm going to go over some things in this video to explain why you shouldn't focus on the scale and to explain the things that you should focus on. Okay, for one thing, your body is made up of different components. You got your bones, you got all your muscle tissue, you got fat, you got water. The scale only tells the total amount of weight of everything in your body combined. The scale does not know what percentage of your body is actual muscle. If you remove every single amount of muscle from your body and lay it in a pile, kind of sounds gross, or every single amount of fat, the scale does not know how much of you is fat, how much is muscle, water, bone. It just knows the total amount. But still, most people use that method as their indicator. I'm 5'8" and I'm currently 180. Through my first 4 or 5 years of being an adult after high school, I weighed 145. Okay, so I'm 35 pounds heavier than I was at age, let's say 22, 23. Now, if you take me, who's 5'8" and 180, you can take another guy who's the exact same age as me, the exact same height, and the exact same weight, and you can put them on a scale. If that person started out at 145 and they've put on 35 pounds of pure fat from the time they weighed 145 to now, and then you put me on there, most of the 35 pounds I've added right now, because I'm at the leanest I've been in a couple of decades, is muscle. So we're both the same age, same height, same weight, but he's added 35 pounds of fat, I've added 35 pounds of muscle. We both step on the scale, and if we're not knowledgeable in biology and weight training and body composition, it looks like we're both on equal playing grounds, but we're not. So you get the point I'm trying to make. So instead of just looking at the scale, you have to learn, and this comes over time of being in the gym, being in the training world, and looking at people and taking in information. You can learn an approximate fat percentage by what you see when you look at a person. People will say that person's ripped, cut, shredded, lean. And what they mean by that is, okay, picture this. If you're not ripped or lean, if you've just put on extra fat pounds, when you look at all the different muscles where one muscle changes to another muscle, what you will see is, picture a soft, subtle rolling hill. Picture smooth rolling hills where it just slowly goes up and then slowly curves down, and where it meets up with the next hill, it's a slow transitional curve to where it slowly begins the next hill. It's a subtle change. Well, someone who is just adding fat, more and more fat, what will happen is, let's say you look at their shoulder, where their shoulder muscle meets with their bicep or tricep muscle, what you will see is, it's not the case on me, I'm glad to say, but what you will see is it'll slowly round down, and then it'll take some time to slowly go up to the next muscle. Nothing is like precise or sharp turns. That's a good indicator that you have a higher fat percentage. Now, when you are more lean, what will happen is the roundness is somewhat exaggerated. I'm going to come in closer. The roundness is somewhat exaggerated, and then it kind of comes almost to a sudden stop, and then it goes from a sudden stop to going the other direction, rounding. And when you see where each muscle clearly stops and the next one begins with almost like a point where the two meet, that's an indicator that you are more lean. Another indicator that you're more lean is the appearance of veins. I don't know how well my phone is going to focus as I get closer or not, but we'll give it a try. Like on my arms, when I do this on my arms, I can see 4 or 5 different veins going in every direction. That's another, the more obvious the veins are, especially in your arms and upper body, the more lean you're getting. So don't focus on, like I said, what the scale reads, focus on what you see. Right now I am the leanest I've been in, I can't tell you how long, probably 20 years. And I won't say I'm the most muscular I've ever been, but I'm probably pretty much equal, just about equal to the most muscular I've ever been, but I'm the most lean I've ever been. When I was right around 29, 30 years old, there was a bunch of weightlifters, or not power lifters at my gym. Most of them were in their late 40s, 50. And I took bad advice from them. They kept saying, eat more, eat more, eat more. You want to get big, you got to eat, you got to eat. That's one of the keys. You work out hard, but you got to eat. You got to constantly put that food in. And they had me convinced at the time that I had to take in a ton of calories, a ton of protein. Otherwise, I wasn't going to get any bigger. And after taking their advice for about a good 6 or 7 months, I plumped up to 192 pounds. That was the heaviest that I had ever weighed while I was actively in the gym, lifting weights and being serious about it. If I hadn't, at the time, I mean, I could tell at the time that I was a little too fat because I was getting a gut on me. But someone who didn't know any better at all, they would keep checking the scale over those 6 months and they'd be like, wow, I've went from 184 all the way up to 192. This is amazing. But like I said a few minutes ago, you got to look at the actual composition, your actual appearance. Like I said, it comes with time and experience, being able to tell if you're a little bit leaner or not leaner. I mentioned some of the things that you look for. How flat your stomach is another thing to look for. Also, you can see it in your face too. A few years ago, I was stopped lifting weights for 2 whole years. There was depression and stuff, and I got the heaviest I had ever been in my life, which was 215, and my face was more round and soft, and my face looked fatter. My gut, I started to get a gut sticking out. But anyway, that's that. But that's just a point I was trying to make, and a couple other things to help you out with body composition and what to look for, what to not look for. You can do body composition or body fat check methods, and there's a number of different methods that you can try. There's the caliper method, and a lot of that is depending on how good the person is at doing it correctly, because depending on who is doing it, they can be more or less accurate. There's a hydro method where you dip your whole body in a tank of water, and it gives you analysis. Something to keep in mind though is if you want to use these body fat methods instead of the scale, they're not 100% accurate. They're at least on average 3 to 4% off. Now it may give you a consistent same reading each time. Like I may test myself 5 times today, and each time it may say that I'm 10%, 10%, 10%. Just because of the way the method is. Some methods is it sends an undetectable current through your body, and based on the amount of time it takes to go through your body, that's supposed to give you a body fat percentage. Well, it's going to take the same amount of time each time you check it, but it's still a level of inaccuracy. So keep that in mind. But that being said, let's say it's 4% off. Okay, now if my real body fat right now is 14, it makes me think it's 10%. It's 4% off, but you can still use the body fat percentage method to, to get an idea if you're heading in the right direction, or if you're staying the same, or if you're getting worse. Even though it's 4% off, if I'm 14 and it tells me I'm 10, it keeps telling me I'm 10. If I do that same body fat measurement 6 months from now, when it's saying I'm 10 now, if it says I'm 7% body fat in 6 or 7 months, it's went down 3. Now, even though it's 4% off from being precise, it is still showing a trend of which direction I'm going. If I'm becoming more lean, whatever body fat percentage method I use, it is still going to indicate that. So it's still beneficial if you want to use those methods, but just keep in mind that they're, like I said, they're not 100% accurate. So you don't have a false, misleading belief of where you actually stand. You can go online and there's experts that can show you a rough estimate. They can teach you how to look at certain things on your body to give you a rough estimate. Like if you see this on a person, you see it's like that, then they're probably down to 10%. If they look like this or that, they're probably at 15. If you see this or that on their body, they're probably 20%. There ain't enough time for me in this video to get into all that, so I won't. But if you got internet, you can look it up yourself and you can get an idea how close you are. But I just wanted to go over that. Don't let the scale be your ultimate go-to guide on how in shape you are and how fat you are. You can use it, just be aware that that's not the ultimate indicator. If the numbers go down, you're either losing fat or you're losing muscle. And you got to use your own eyes and your own common sense to tell which one you're losing. But the scale is going to tell you which way you're going. Another thing I wanted to throw in for people who are in a weight training, and the topic of protein always comes up. And people say how much protein you should get. My opinion and what I'm going to hold to, and people can argue all they want, it's not a set science like saying 2 times 2 is 4. For every 1 gram of protein, for every pound you weigh, if you take in 1 gram of protein, that is for me the absolute max that you will ever need, no matter how hard you train, no matter how dedicated you are. If you're getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat, you should never ever need more than that. Now, an IFBB World Class Pro can argue that it should be higher, and that's a whole nother video for another day. They're also loading themselves full of steroids where they can pack on the muscle at a quicker rate and probably make more benefit of that higher level of protein. But you don't need more than 1 gram of protein per pound that you weigh. And realistically, it's probably closer to 3/4 of a gram of protein per pound that you weigh. So like I'm 180. So if I'm getting anywhere from about like 140 to 180 grams of protein per day, there is no reason whatsoever I should have a need to go higher than that. This is Eagle Owl. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.